Welcome to a new daily top Askreddit video. Today's topic: what's the dumbest thing someone has ever said to you? That we don't need farmers because we have grocery stores. I live in a rural area. I think this one's my favorite. LMAO. We butchered a cow we had and we offered our aunt to come and get some meat. She simply said, "Oh no thank you, I like the good meat from Albertso's." Ah yes, the kind that is definitely less fresh 2 hours after you buy it, let alone when you buy it to when it was handled. A variation I heard on that once: "I don't understand why we have to kill so many cows. McDonald's seems to have plenty of meat," was said seriously. A friend of mine asked me why we didn't see stars when we flew over them. She truly believed that when you were flying on an airplane, you flew over the stars. I was speechless. I met a girl in college that thought that after airplanes reach peak altitude, they then turn off the airplane and glide in the rest of the way. Yes, she had flown before. That works until you need to flip and burn to slow down for arrival. That the Golden Gate Bridge connects North America and Europe. Yay. Don't even ask. Then that's one long ass bridge. We standardize on a case-by-case basis. An auto shop up the road had a sign saying, "We specialize in all domestic and foreign makes." We specialize in everything. My old roommate pointed an laser thermometer at a pencil on a table inside our house. The laser thermometer read 68 degrees Fahrenheit. He exclaimed, "This thing is broken." I asked why he thought it was broken. "This is a pencil. It doesn't produce any heat. This thermometer should say 0. I stared at him for a few seconds, unable to collect my jaw off the floor. Well, 0 degrees Fahrenheit would mean it is frozen, or well beyond frozen, so I think 68 is the temperature of the air in the room. This man was 26, his 2 adult brothers were sitting in this room. I was the only one who understood why the thermometer was correct. I had to reread that again, but holy shit. Used to work in Yellowstone. The amount of stupid coming through the park is unimaginable. Had a bison come and lay down close to the boardwalk at Old Faithful. A woman holding a toddler started running up to it. Luckily I had grabbed her by the back of her shirt and pulled her down. She kept screaming she was going to sue me and the lodge for ruining her perfect vacation photo. Then watching a 20-something walking out of the lodge in a swimming suit to go soak in the pots. Telling another tourist that he could not walk off the boardwalk. He became angry and demanded to be allowed to do this. When this happens we are on high alert. We always had to watch tourists, like they had IQs of 10. My favorite Yellowstone quote. The problem with designing a bear-proof trash bin is that there is considerable overlap between the smartest bears and the dumbest tourists. By soak in the pots you mean commit horrific suicide by jumping into boiling volcanic springs, I'm guessing. I read a not always right story about a tourist who saw the posted temperature of the hot springs, I think it was 120 degrees or something like that, and said, "PFFT, that's just a warm summer day where I'm from." He was told, "That's Celsius," to which he replied, "Ha. I don't know what that means. I'm going in, and you can't stop me." Luckily, he only dipped in his big toe to start, then, howling with pain, was taken to the nurse's office. Lol. Construction work can be like this. You'd be surprised how many people walk through orange barriers and straight up to guys in hard hats thinking this building is open. It's happened in a hotel lobby where the top 12 floors didn't even have windows. Tried to get a room for the night. At a gas station where there were no pumps installed or any shelves in the store. Women tried to buy cigarettes. Another gas station where the store was literally leveled to the ground. We are sitting in front of the pile and a guy squeezes between 2 large orange barrels. Pulls up to the one pump still upright in the middle of the lot. Gets out and tries to swipe his card twice before looking at us in confusion. IQ of 10 friggy everywhere. This is somehow have you survived this long type of shit. Had a bison come and lay down close to the boardwalk at Old Faithful. A woman holding a toddler started running up to it. Sorta semi-related. About 20 years ago, I was a young rural telco repair guy. It was very typical to wander through farmers' fields to get to a pedestal to fix telephone wires. Lots of times you have to slip past barbed wire, and just avoid the cow patties. Sometimes the cows will come see what you're doing, generally it's fine. Horses are a bit more like dogs, and you have to gauge their personalities. It's usually obvious when a horse is going to be territorial. Anyway. This one time, I crawl through the fence, carry a ladder, and some joker has piled tires over the pedestal. I'm grumbling to myself and set up and start lifting the heavy-ass tires off the PED, when I hear shouting. Farming comes blasting up on a quad, and yells to me, and I swear this was the line, I bet he was saving it forever lol. Come with me if you want to live. I kinda just stared at him, but felt the earth starting to shake. So hopped on behind, and we raced off. About a minimum later a herd of bison comes racing through. Stomps the shit out of my ladder, and would have done the same for me. Didn't realize that farmers were raising bison here, but I sure left tire protected peds alone after that lol. Hope you gave that farmer a beer afterwards, cause he sounds like a good man. We spent a lot of time in Yellowstone when I was a kid. Old Faithful was my favorite area because of all the colors and buffalo. We only went in the winter when it was nice and cold and the buffalo were all there to warm up. Never, ever, did we even think about going near them. I remember being 5 and seeing one walking towards us from super far away and thinking about how if it didn't turn soon I would start walking down the boardwalk away from it even if my mom didn't want to. She would have, and the buffalo was nowhere near us. It's just one of those weird child thoughts you have where the whole world revolves around you. I can't even imagine wanting to walk towards one of those things. How are people not terrified of giant animals made of pure freaking muscle that have huge pointy horns on their head? I am amazed at what people think is okay around giant animals in the wild. I was working on Cumberland Island, which has feral horses, and had to tell my crew to stay away from them repeatedly because they've bitten people in the past. They argued with me. The horses don't care that we're here. Yes. Yes they do. They're wild animals several times your size, leave them alone. And a horse ain't as big as a goddamned bison. People just don't seem to get you're in that animal's space, and even nice animals should just be left alone. How are people not terrified of giant animals made of pure freaking muscle that have huge pointy horns on their head? It's because they think national parks are amusement parks. The same shit goes on at the Grand Canyon, by the way. There's no rest stops or snack bars along the trail, you're in a wilderness. Well, they can't harm you obviously. They'd be fired from the park. Someone told me I'm a Scientologist because I believe in science. That's going to be hard to beat. How about being called a gorilla because I believe in evolution? I'm brown. Someone asked me if my privates were brown as well. She was 19, and wasn't trying to get with me. I knew her too well for that. Her boyfriend was right there and she regularly said dumb shit. This was just the dumbest ever. My stepdad's common argument when you talk about anything that science has proven is to say, how do we know science is real? He says it all the time like he's the most clever person to ever exist. His 50-year-old brother likes to brag he's only read 2 books in his life, Where the Red Fern Grows and Old Yeller. I don't think he realizes this makes him sound like some insane person who likes reading about dogs dying. I also think he just recently added the MyPillow guy's autobiography to his list of reading accomplishments. They are literally fountains of stupidity. How do we know science is real? Peer reviews, experiments and their reproducibility, as well as practical applications. Wait, you're Asian. I thought you said you were Vietnamese. Are you Chinese or Asian? He's Laotian. Lesbian. I thought you were American. You're not Lebanese, that's not how we raised you. You can't be Vietnamese because that was a war, not a country /J. This was actually going to be my answer. Someone said to me, straight-faced, I knew Vietnam was a war, but it's an actual country. This person was a high school teacher. A guy asked me if Hitler was before or after Second World War. We are both native Germans. An American girl told me once that Hitler would have killed me during WW2 because I'm blonde and I got blue eyes. I'm German BTW. She's a little confused, but she's got the spirit. A supervisor told me you can only get sick if you want to be sick. Remember, by law, no bacteria or virus can enter your body without your consent. If you are in the fear of getting infected, just say no. The body has ways of shutting that whole thing down. Someone once said that they couldn't wait for Halloween to fall on Friday the 13th. It's going to be extra spooky that year. It would be terrifying. Something must be really fucked up if Halloween is on the 13th. My friend once said with genuine worry that she hoped her birthday would never fall on Friday the 13th. Her birthday is March the 26th. Last month a co-worker asked if I'll run out of blood eventually because donate very couple months. He's 34 years old. That's the idea. Removed. When my daughter was small, she handed me a tube that looked like chapstick but smelled like bubble gum. I bit it. It was chapstick. That was 30 years ago and she still gives me shit for it. Haha, the role reversal in this story is incredible. My niece still makes fun of me for kissing her booger. She had it on her little toddler pointer finger, outstretched towards me so I could help her clean it up. I thought she had a boo-boo. Nope, it was a little booger. She thought I was an idiot.